Mary came to me the other day and said she doesn't understand boats. All right, we're going to restart the podcast. Starting the timer.
No, don't do that because then people know they're wasting time.
All right, folks, what do we think? Is it embarrassing to drive a Cybertruck in 2025?
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's 2 years in a row winner of that title.
2 years.
Yeah, most embarrassing.
Is it the look or is it what it represents?
All of it.
It's both.
I think
It's
even
both.
if it didn't represent what it currently represents, it would be embarrassing. It's like a bunch of like metal trash cans fused together with hatred and insecurity.
But one thing I have noticed about Teslas, Morgan, my wife, has said she likes the colors we've been seeing on Teslas recently because...
Teslas or Cybertrucks?
Well, Teslas in general, because it seems like Tesla people are the most willing to wrap their cars interesting colors. Why is that?
Well, with the Cybertruck, it's because they kind of have to.
That's
There's
true.
no other options.
That's true.
But Tesla doesn't really offer a whole lot of colors. They offer like 5 colors, and that's it.
So we were driving through Fort Collins the other day, and we saw this, like, have you seen these, like, color-changing wraps? Where, like, depending on the angle, they're either purple or, like, green. Or
And they usually look bad.
Do you think that's a hazard on the road?
Why?
Because you'd be like, oh, like, and then you crash.
Mary's unable to process interesting colors.
While I'm driving, absolutely. So I'm not allowed to drive at sunset.
Oh my God.
Mary's crashing constantly. No, but you really don't like the color-changing things?
Maybe on the right lowrider or something, you could have the chameleon paint going on, but on a Model Y that's otherwise on stock wheels,
Not it, huh?
no.
They remind me of something like very early Fast and Furious.
Like an 05 Cobra or something, or
Yes.
no 03 Cobra
Sure.
that came on.
Speaking
that
of
is
which,
okay.
Jen met a celebrity.
I did. Guys, I met Soon Kang from Tokyo Drift when I was driving Porsches at AMP, and that was the coolest thing ever. I totally blacked out when I talked to him. I have no idea what I said. I think I said something okay, but no one really knows.
What did you say to him? What do you think you said to
I
him?
think I said, I saw you yesterday, but I was too nervous to say hi. But I know that this is going to be my only opportunity to talk to you.
Then I think you told me that you said I would be kicking myself. If
I would be
didn't-
kicking myself
yeah.
if I didn't come over here and talk to you. So
I
I
was
told
like-
him who I was and where I worked, and I was a big fan. And he said it was really nice to meet you, Jen. And then I nearly fainted because he said my name. So
And he
that
was
was
staring
cool.
deeply
But he
into
was
your
like,
eyes.
he was so close.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Yeah.
he had intense eye contact. So I think that's when I started blacking out a little bit.
For those who don't know by the actor's name, Soon Kang played Han in Fast and Furious, who's the coolest character in the
Yeah.
best movie franchise
Yeah.
of all time, right, Mary?
That's a hot take.
She agrees.
You're
She
entitled
agrees.
to your hot takes.
Look at
He's
how
like
cool he
Brad
is.
Pitt because he's always eating.
Yeah, the
in-
whole
in
time
all of
he's
his
just
scenes.
like leaning against cars, snacking. It's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
he
that's
was
pretty
he
nice.
was super cool. And
Was he
was
snacking?
Well, during dinner, yes.
I think that's more than just
But when
snacking
he
if
was
you're at dinner.
drifting around AMP, no, he was not snacking.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Have you seen any of the Fast and Furiouses, Mary?
I have not.
Tokyo Drift is
Not good.
the
Sorry.
best one.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Do we have to rank Fast and Furiouses too?
No. Later in the podcast, we're going to be ranking Corvettes, and Case is going to be wrong. But genuinely, I think that's very cool. I've
was
heard
fun.
some other people that have met him because he's like a genuine car guy.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. Although apparently it really sucks to live at that house. Have you heard about this?
No.
Like
What house?
the Fast and Furious house.
There's a house?
Yeah, the family house.
They all live in a house? Like
Family.
one?
I thought they all lived in a car.
Familia. Live in their cars.
I have sorely misunderstood the
They
plot
drink
of those
Coronas
movies.
in front of their house.
Fast and Furious is just van lifing before it was cool.
Right, right.
People that couldn't afford the rent. It was actually a social commentary about rent prices in LA. No, the house. You know the house.
Oh, that's
Yeah, I know
that
the
one,
house.
that one.
Yeah.
the house.
People
Familia,
actually live in
barbecues,
it?
Coronas.
Believe it or not, it's a real house that they don't live. Like Dom Toretto.
Ludacris doesn't live in that house with Vin Diesel and The Rock.
You're breaking his heart right now.
Vin Diesel, The Rock, and Ludacris all live in that house. That's exactly right.
And Jason Statham.
They have to pay for parking on the street.
Real talk, it would suck to live in a celebrity
Oh
house.
yeah. Well, that's how it was for the Home Alone house
And the Breaking Bad house.
and the Breaking Bad house.
They had
exactly.
to put up a sign saying "Stop throwing pizzas on our house" from that one
Oh
scene
my
in the movie.
God. He
How could
nailed
you
it
not?
on that one take.
Yeah, that was
Did
one
he
thing.
really?
He was one take, nailed it. Yeah.
I do
Bryan
want to
Cranston,
live
good pizza thrower.
good
Yeah.
pizza thrower. That's what I know about Brian Kranz.
Cranston.
Kranz. I do want to
Crayons.
live in the. Actually, I can't live there, but you may have been there. Were you at the Porsche Experience Center?
No, I was not.
Featured in a movie. The
Iron
Avengers.
Man. Oh,
Yeah, isn't it the Avengers?
Was that
place?
his Malibu
Yes.
house?
Yeah.
I think it was his Malibu house.
yeah,
too.
that
Or
was the one
I
I
think
was
it was the
thinking of.
Avengers
Wait, like
complex
the one
is
on
the
the
Porsche
cliff?
Experience Center. No,
oh.
well, that's his house, but I think the Porsche Experience Center is like the Avengers. I think
Oh,
it
I
was like
think
the
you're right,
Avengers
Case.
building. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I see. I thought you were talking about Tony
Yeah.
Stark's
Yeah.
Malibu.
Me too.
I got
crazy
him
was
home.
confused.
also
So that's it
thinking of
as
that.
like the Avengers building, but then you look at it. It's the
Oh,
Porsche
there
Experience
it
Center.
is.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Isn't
cool.
that sweet?
That is cool.
I've
That's
been there.
very neat.
That's
Did you
really
meet
cool.
the Avengers?
I did. They were driving Porsches. It was great. It was a good promotion for the brand.
I do like. I still do feel a little misled when even at the ripe young age of 28, when I realize that these actors don't live in the places that they do in the movies.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of devastating. It is kind of devastating.
Well, when I was really, really little, I thought that actors actually died in movies. I was like,
my
wow,
God.
they just really went off the side of that cliff.
They
That's
killed
crazy.
that guy.
But that's when I was like 4 years old. I'm like, wow, they actually died. That's crazy.
Good acting.
You were watching movies where people were dying at the age of 4.
Yeah, I should not have been,
Which
but I
ones?
was. Oh, I don't know. I was 4.
Even older cartoons have people.
Yeah,
dying.
it could have been like Power
Older
Rangers or
cartoons were-
something, you know?
Tom
We're
and Jerry is a
gnarly.
murderous show.
Yeah.
Listen, nobody dies on Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry are dead the whole time.
No. Tom dies at one point.
Tom
the cat,
never
yeah,
dies.
Tom,
Yeah, he
at the
goes
end
to heaven.
they sit on a train track together and they die together.
Is that real?
That's the last
Well,
episode.
there's an episode where Tom goes to heaven.
Yeah,
Like,
there is. He
well,
like raised his ghost
I think he
raises
gets
out
like
of his
dragged
earthly
down.
body.
I don't
Oh,
think he ends up
gosh.
in heaven.
There's a final episode of Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, and they die together.
Does Jerry ever get Tom? I don't know which one's which.
Tom is
Jerry,
a cat.
Jerry,
Tomcat.
Tomcat.
Oh no!
Oh, yes.
No way!
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why
Way.
it's Jerry as a mouse though. Like a geriatric. Nope. That's
No.
Geriatric
No.
mouse. So they actually like finish Tom and Jerry. There's like an actual ending episode.
Have you seen a modern episode of Tom and Jerry?
Well, that's a good point.
But things could just end. You know, sometimes shows get canceled without like an actual ending.
Ted Lasso.
There's
Oh.
another season coming out.
Well, that show had a conclusion.
Yeah, it had a
They
conclusion.
they knew, but it
My
was
Name
coming
is Earl
back.
just ended without any conclusion.
Yeah,
You guys remember?
I
My Name is
do.
Earl?
I do remember that show.
What are you, 85
Anyway.
years old?
A
My
little.
name is Earl.
The show's not that old.
Did you ever
No.
see that movie, that show Glory Girls?
Dairy Girls.
No. Glory Girls.
Anyway,
Golden Girls.
Golden Girls.
Golden
Yes,
Girls.
with Blanche and Rose and
Yeah,
Yes.
Betty White.
my idols.
Betty.
And Betty White went to
Biden.
prison.
She did?
Yes, tax evasion.
I am so scared of tax evasion.
That might be Martha Stewart. actually.
Martha Stewart
Yeah,
went.
sorry,
I was
brother.
like, wait a minute.
Insider trader. Yeah.
I hope nobody listens to this podcast. This has been a catastrophe. So today, Mary wanted to talk about something very interesting. And it's not Betty White going to prison. Although, in my mind, Betty White and Martha Stewart, same exact person.
No,
So
Betty
different.
White's so
Come
much
on.
cooler.
Yes, agreed.
Why?
Because she's not like terrible.
Does she have a snow with Snoop Dogg?
Snoop.
No, but
Does she have a
I
show with Snoop Dogg?
I think it's just her attitude that she has while she's wearing like the sweetest little sweaters and
best.
everything.
The proposal.
Yeah, she was just the absolute best.
Is she still around?
No,
No.
she passed away.
That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, she passed away during COVID.
I need to read a newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Tommy.
They've
Nobody's
got
reading
the internet
newspapers.
now.
So she is better than Martha Stewart.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Who's the baker?
Martha Stewart.
Oh,
Betty White was an
interesting.
actor.
I think Martha Stewart's
Only an actor.
Martha Stewart's
might have done
cool
some other stuff. She's pretty
because
old.
She was
she,
good cooking
you know,
stuff.
Betty White?
she kept silent and she's like got a pretty cool relationship with Snoop, and I think it's really funny. But Betty White is cool in a whole different scenario.
Cooler.
Betty White's just like iconic.
She's iconic.
Huh.
Yeah.
Her
Really?
her super dry sarcasm is
She was old for a
Amazing.
really long time.
Yeah.
I think she-
being
Was she
old.
ever young?
she hit 100, I think, or
hit
she was
100.
she was either just about to or she did hit 100.
Was
Yeah.
she like? Did she start acting when she was old?
No. No,
Was
she
she
was
Golden Girls were around forever.
Yeah, but she was
See,
pretty
she was
old.
old there.
Yeah. Was she in The Wedding Singer?
Oh, she
No,
didn't
that was a
quite-
different old lady.
Okay.
She made it to 99.
The pianist, tutor or whatever. Is that what you're
Thinking
talking
of
about?
someone singing.
Oh, she was in the Lorax.
The hip hop.
Yeah.
No, it's a different lady.
Different old lady.
Yeah,
So
different old
anyway,
lady.
what
couple.
I want to talk about
Yeah.
is not Martha Stewart or Betty White, although very worthy topics. But here's the thing. We started this podcast because there are some people who are car enthusiasts or who want to be into cars and aren't, and this is like a good place to start.
And then there's Mary.
And I can't say that I'm like completely ground zero not interested in cars because I'm surrounded by you people. And it's kind of hard, like your guys' passion is like kind of infectious and contagious. And I am a very like curious person. I have no problem asking questions that might sound kind of dumb. But my one question that I haven't quite been able to answer, even after 6 months of being here,
yes,
is like, where does the spark come from? Like for me, cars are like, I get, it's a vessel. I can get from A to B. It doesn't have to be fun. I don't have to hear cool sounds. I don't have to hear the rumble. I don't know what torque is.
That's the baseline of being a car enthusiast.
But anyway, like,
Gotta know torque.
I think we all know like a car guy, right? Like somebody who's just really into cars. And for me, it was kind of like, why? Where does that come from? And why are you so interested in it? Could be a very short conversation. It's just your thing. It's just what interests you. Like for me, it's like videography and cameras and stuff like that. For some people, it's makeup. For some people, it's like collecting art. For some, like whatever. But I also think because I have you three specifically, that you can like kind of tap into what that is and where that comes from. So the first thing is functionality. For me, it feels like in America, and I can only speak for Americans, like there's a function that like you need a car in America. It's ginormous. Mm-hmm. So like, first of all, most Americans have a car. Mm-hmm. So there's like just that access, which was where it starts, I think.
Mm-hmm. Jen, go.
Oh gosh. Okay. So I think I first came online to cars with my uncle's C4. And I know you would like this, but I was like 4 years old, and it was only like a couple years old at the time.
That's a Corvette out for those out there.
It's a Corvette, yeah. It was red, and at the time he had piped it for open headers going out the sides. Mm-hmm. And I remember getting out of the car and feeling like the heat practically burning my ankles. But I just remember being driven around in it. It was manual. I had never seen a manual car before. I'd never heard a car like that. He had T-tops. I'd never been in a car that had like the roof coming off. And it was just like such an incredible feeling that really stuck with me. And then I started going to car shows. I started going to Volo Auto Museum in Volo, Illinois all the time. And then I got my first car, which was a manual. And that made me feel the most connected to a car that I've ever felt before. And then it was my love for loud cars or old classic muscle cars where it sounds like, the low lope is so low that it's about to die, and like that like just really resonated with like in my chest,
So it sounds like a lot of your connection to cars is the sensory experience.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. But also the appreciation, my first real loves were, old Mustangs, and then they evolved to, like GTOs, and now it's Chevelles. But it's always been like older muscle cars that aren't known for being fast, but it's for being loud, or that era of the 60s and 70s where, it's just kind of a new, exciting thing. Mm. And I think I just know that I'll never be able to live in that era. But
so I have a theory about car people. Mm-hmm. And I think that there's like a couple different types of car people, and there's not like the right and the wrong. It's just people's formation with that experience either happen because of like one event that kind of kicks you off down that journey, or, and maybe Case feels the same way too. I feel like some of us, when we're little itty bitty kids, your brains are small and your interests are limited. Mm-hmm. And from the little kids that I remember when I was a little kid, everybody had like the one thing. So like there was like the sports kid.
And the dinosaur kid.
The dinosaur kid.
Right.
And then there was like the car kid. And I think Case and I were both like the car kid. And I think maybe it's because like you're not exposed to that many things, and it's hard to like interact with things when you're little. So you kind of just latch onto something and then you just don't let go.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's definitely the possibility to just have an inherent interest. Like when I was a little kid, my parents got me a bunch of toy cars. My dad was into cars, so there were cool cars around, and that was just the first thing that I latched onto. To your point, with limited experience of other things, that was the coolest thing around. And I think, to Jen's point as well, when you experience some of those cool sounds and the heat and the vibration from a car. The right kind of car can feel like it's alive, like it's this living, breathing thing.
It has a soul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's both impressive and a little scary and exciting, and so there's just a kind of a certain magic around these machines that like other appliances, because for a lot of people, for smart people, a car is an appliance. It's just a way to get to work, to get to the grocery store. But like a washing machine is never gonna. Well, it shouldn't ideally have pops and bangs and be shooting fire and smoking tires.
Depends on how you mod it out,
Yeah, ideally, or a dishwasher, whatever. If it does, it's probably needs fixed. So yeah, the cars just have this special kind of magic to them in the way that they can operate. That is exciting.
So, Mary, did you have like a thing when you were a kid?
I mean, like, not really. I was always like playing games with my sisters. I have 3 sisters, and we would just be like creating worlds together. Like, we would go outside and we'd have all these toys, and we'd put them in the grass, and we'd be like, okay, this is like the kingdom that's like, this is like the dark kingdom, and then we put a bunch of other toys and so like I was creating stories as a kid, which is maybe why I really like storytelling now.
Interesting.
But like I don't think I've ever had, well, maybe since working here I have, when like you're in a car and you're going really fast, or you like that low lope we had, and when we did, what was that,
the Mustang and also the C3.
Yeah, like it is a cool experience, but it's not something that's like, oh, I want to like pop up on the hood and see what's under there and see what's going on. Like, it's just like, for me, it's enough to like tell that story, like not necessarily like through the camera.
Right.
For me, that's like, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like, do you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, you're not maybe seeking out more experiences with cars.
Sure.
But you want to use them as like a vessel, we're using this word a lot, to tell the story of what you're doing.
Right. And I think there are a lot of cool stories to be told with cars. That's why I love learning about the history. Like when I have to drive a car for a commute, for a video, I love learning about the history of that manufacturer.
Interesting.
And like the car. So I like the story that comes with the car, which is why I think the Mercedes is super cool. Like 500,000 miles.
Yes.
The one that you guys just got.
Wait till you get in a Volkswagen. You are going to be shocked, Mary.
Yeah, there's quite the history there.
So keep going though. So what are like some other things that you've noticed about car people or that you want to talk about?
Yeah, well, I think to Case's point, like everybody has a washer, right? But not everybody is seeing your washer. So like everybody sees your car, right? So it does
normalize displaying the washing machine.
Hi, it's like showing a child.
It's a big investment. Why are we hiding it?
I've got a sweet Samsung that sings a song when it's done that
that's
lasts
cool.
for like a full minute and a half.
nice.
I turned that song off.
Yeah.
I
I don't know
turned
if
it
yours
off.
had the same one, but it went on
Case,
for
can
like
you
90
sing it?
seconds.
Forever, yeah.
Can you sing it?
No.
Okay, ready? Do 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 do.
That's the one.
Do 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 do.
That's the exact
do
one.
do do do.
Yep.
Do 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 do. Do do do.
That's enough.
And it
You
just-
can stop.
no,
Yep, we get it.
And the whole time it's doing that, you're thinking it's got to be
Do,
almost
do,
over,
do.
right?
And
but
then
it keeps
and then it
going.
goes on for like 3 more.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yep.
That was actually
That's
the song.
incredible.
That was pretty
Do,
close.
do, do,
Okay.
do, do,
Oh my
do,
god.
do, 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 and then it's done.
You're like, do you
It
think the
takes
laundry's done?
Ages.
And that's why I turned mine off.
I didn't know you
What?
could turn it off.
It makes me so happy when I hear that song. Life has been feeling so heavy, and then Samsung comes in and it's just
It has
Time
the
to
world's
fold your
longest
clothes.
song. Yeah.
Sure.
okay. No, but keep going.
But anyway, like I think, when we did what does your car say about you, right? Like there's a very like social psychological aspect of it as well. And like what I wrote down is like there's like a sort of like intimacy, even if you're not a car person, like your car is like your freedom. It's like every car commercial out there. It provides like healthy isolation, right? Sometimes that's the only alone time you get in your day is like when you're driving in your car. It's the only place I know as an adult where you can scream without like
Correct.
yeah. Have you
Correct.
ever screamed in your car?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's nice. So there's that kind of sense of intimacy. The other thing that when I was kind of like looking into it and trying to understand it more is there's a sense of like knowledge and curiosity that's like satiated by like understanding how something as intricate as a car works. So maybe you guys can talk to that. Because like I said, I have no desire to like pop open a hood and like see what's going on. But I think if I started learning, I'd want to know more.
Yeah.
So as like as a quote unquote non-car crazed person, do you dislike the fact that like so many car people judge personalities based on what someone drives?
Can you rephrase that question?
Well, so like as a car person, I look at like what Case drives and I immediately make like some
An
assumptions
assumption.
about that person.
Sure.
All bad.
Well, that's like that could be like a perceived thing, right? When I look at your car, I make an assumption about you because I kind of know what that car's about and what that car stands for.
Sure.
Do you feel like that's unfair? Do you feel like your car represents you, even as a non-car person?
Well, yeah, because like I said, I think your car does sort of accidentally become an extension of yourself because you spend so much time with it. But I don't think it's unfair,
Okay.
as long as you can justify it,
Right.
Yeah.
And as long as you're not holding on to that assumption after you've known the person.
Right.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, that doesn't bother me. I think honestly, car people have more grounds than anyone to make an assumption based on somebody else's car than I would.
Well, and I feel like that what you were saying earlier is very true. Like there is the social commentary, right? Like it's a way that we, right or wrong, judge people where they stand economically.
Yeah,
right?
in a way, what car you drive is a part of it's fashion. in a
Yeah,
way,
but then I think it's interesting, like when you look at really wealthy car people, at our level when we're not wealthy, that's definitely like a status thing. Oh, he drives like a BMW Mercedes. But then when you get to like the upper echelons of car people where you know they can afford anything, then it becomes interesting like seeing what those people drive because it's no longer like an economic status. It's more about like they're into it because of the history or what it represents
Yeah,
in
like-
society.
Who is it? Lady Gaga has like a first gen Lightning or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is rad.
Amazing.
Yeah, and like
So
I think she has an old
awesome.
diesel Mercedes too, if I
Yeah,
remember right.
it's
So,
just sick.
so like when you get to that level, then it stops being like this is solely an economic thing. This is like I want this Lightning to show that I'm kind of quirky and a person of the '90s.
'cause
and
it's
like,
fashion.
Yeah, it was a fashion thing, and that's a big thing. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's interesting that you brought up status too, because like I said, psychology is weird. And I think whether we mean to or not, we do associate cars with status.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Absolutely.
Well, and especially like we are very fortunate where we live in like a democratically free party, but especially like behind the iron block in the USSR, it wasn't just like, does this car mean you have status? It's like literally if you drive this black sedan, you are a person of the government that holds this power.
Right.
Yeah.
And a normal person can't have that. Right?
Yeah, you're
Which
not
is
even
crazy.
an option.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
not really a thing in like a free trade world. It sort of is still to some
Yeah.
extent, but it really is a big thing like in to some extent in China, but like in North Korea still, right?
Yeah, right. Here's a question for you. Something that does bother me is sometimes like the elitist like attitude that a lot of car people have, which is why it's kind of hard to like kind of break that mold.
It bothers me too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
expand on that? Like, what do you mean by
Oh.
elitist?
Well, if what she's talking about is what I'm thinking of, like kind of like what we were talking about before, and like if you would date someone that was driving like a brand new GLS or something, and all they
Right.
want to talk about is the GLS, or they make the GLS like their entire personality. Also, Tesla owners.
Well, that's why I started with the Cybertruck in this
Right.
thing,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Yeah.
Is especially that Cybertruck, politics aside, like the people that I've seen drive those, for the most part, really make that like an essential part of
It's their whole
personality.
thing.
Yeah.
They have to talk about it. Everyone needs to know. Like, if anything, they'll park it outside, even if they could park it in the garage, just so their neighbors know that they have one. And it's just that part of it drives me nuts.
I think for me too, just as like okay, say I was somebody like curious and learning about even just like the mechanics of cars, let alone like all of the history and all of the politics and all of like the manufacturer, what have you. But like I feel like when you tell a person that you're like interested in cars, they're like, oh yeah, well then what does the GTX 7 volt blah blah blah,
100%.
you know,
Right.
and that makes me not want to be interested in it anymore.
Right.
Like it
Yeah.
kind of, I think it can turn people off to, or like say, this is kind of a gender generalization, but like say like a girlfriend doesn't understand why her boyfriend's always in the garage tinkering with
Yeah.
his car, and she's like, well, what are you doing? He's like, you wouldn't get it.
But don't you think that kind of exists across every quote unquote collector world? Like if I
Maybe.
wanted to get into, so we've got some friends who are into like Magic the Gathering, right?
Right.
And when I hear them talk about it, like I am interested, but I'm so intimidated by the terms and like the baseline. I don't want anything to do with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think those people are out there, but I think there's just as much of it where someone like Tommy and I will be really excited about something and we'll
Right.
express it to a non-car person. They're like, That's great.
So you're saying you don't like
It's
it when
like-
your passion is met with apathy.
Have you ever seen the meme that's like an otter that looks like it's crying and it's holding something?
Yeah.
I've seen that, and it's holding like an old.
I relate to that.
It's holding like an old Chevy pickup, and it's saying
Yeah.
exactly that.
Yeah.
Like when you talk about the thing you think is cool, and
Oh,
someone
and like
just
you
says
like
great.
shoots you
It's
down.
so sad. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it can go both ways, but I almost sympathize with Mary more because like I've been to Cars and Coffee where it's like a DICK measuring competition, not about like what car you have, but like how much knowledge
much
you
you
have
know.
on that car.
Yeah.
You ever see that where you're like, this is an E92 335 with an N54 and the Garrett AK11 turbo,
Pre-LCI?
and you're like, exactly, and you're like,
Yeah.
why are we talking like this? You know,
Use words.
And as a car person, like, and then you're like, oh, but do you have the T50 transmission? Or are you like, it's like, God,
Yeah.
Are you actually conversing about this car, or are you just trying to one up each other on the knowledge?
Right. Oh, but this year was better than that year.
exactly.
Well, to that point though, like in the love of cars also builds a pretty organic community. And you can talk to anybody about cars if you're like these programs are crazy for me because I can't talk to these people about cars. So usually I ask them like, what's the best road trip you've ever been on? Or
Good one.
yeah.
But the thing about, we're talking about these car programs we go on where they invite like a bunch of journalists and then there's a dinner and then of course it always goes down to cars. But I feel like what I'm saying exists even in our little world to a huge extent where like a lot of journalists are really excited to talk about anything other than cars.
You think?
Because they know it's going to turn into like, I've driven this and I drove
Yeah.
this and
Right.
you know
It's
this.
work,
and
you know?
It's like,
Yeah.
God. So I think like you coming into that environment is like a breath of fresh air.
I have gone to a car program before and people were like chatting about cars and there was like a slight lull in the conversation and I was like, you guys want to play some trivia? And everybody was like, hell yeah, dude, let's do it. And I think for like an hour, like in between the dinner and like the end of the presentation of the car, we played trivia and like
That's
6
awesome.
people joined us.
That's
and
cool.
I mean, it wasn't even car trivia. It was just like general.
Random?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people had a great time. And from then on, they were like, trivia girl.
For the record, Mary had like the C-suite executives at General Motors playing trivia with
That
her.
is true. I did fail to mention that.
Which I
detail.
think is so funny. Her first press trip, she's like, you guys want to talk about Egypt?
the guy was Egyptian. It was cool.
Yeah, and it worked,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But that's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I got a little bit lucky on that one because some people are very difficult to talk to because they only want to talk specs.
Yes. Yeah, and I think, yes. 100%.
Yeah.
And part of that is like they're trying to prove to other people that like they deserve to be there. But which is why when you come in and you just admit you know nothing,
Sure.
and then people are like,
Like, whoa,
let's
that's
talk about
awesome.
the pyramids.
Yeah.
They're like excited to be there, right?
Yeah, that's true.
No.
Yeah.
All right, keep going. What else you got?
Well, I mean, I also think historical influence is big. Like it's been happening for a really long time. I wrote down like how post World War II changed the game in mass production and the notion of consumerism, and soon everybody had a car. And like I took notes on when I said like the use, like
The use.
the use of cars. Like there are 370 million cars in North America. Wow. And let's see, 91% of
enough.
U.S. households have at least one car.
Uh-huh. Let's up this
So-
rookie numbers, guys.
Yeah, right?
Tommy, how many cars do you own?
One,
Lies.
Be honest.
like in my name,
Between
know.
you and your wife,
my wife.
Yeah.
Well, she is a signer of one of the cars, so.
in
but,
your household.
At
4,
how many cars on the property you live on?
5. There's
No,
5 cars.
I was on that property the other day, and I went into the garage and I filmed it. There was the Trail Boss, there was the Willis, there was the Corvette, there was the
17.
i8, there was the Jeep, there was the Range Rover, there was the Mini
Is there
Countryman.
only one?
The
there's two
Aston.
Land Rovers there. There's two.
So-
the correct number. So you're right. I do own 5, but it's like, here's the thing. It's a lot of cars. Some would say too many cars. And if you
wrong
look at
ones.
it, some would. If you look at it based on Mary's perspective of like you can only drive one car at a time. Is
Yeah.
that a
Biologically,
fair,
that's true.
Mary's dumb perspective is going to say
Physically, you can only drive one car at a
something
time.
dumb like that. No, but really, like, it's a collection kind of thing, you know?
It's an expensive collection.
It is a very
Yes.
expensive collection. You're right. And I'm very fortunate I can afford these cars. But the thing is, like, if you take the value of my cars, with the exception of the one I just bought, and combine them, it's still less than the average price of a new car. So, like, if you take my Land Rover and 2 of my old Mercedes, which are very cool cars, they're probably worth like $25,000 combined. which is a lot of money. But considering the average new car costs $48,000,
It's insane.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
The thing is like you can have some fun with older cars and still be less than like a new car.
Well, the right number of cars to own, and there is a definitive answer to it.
What?
It's one more.
One more.
More. Oh, I like
Case.
that.
Yeah.
I like that case.
Mary is so disappointed.
Yeah, it's the correct
So
number.
how many cars do you own?
Only 4. Tommy
One less
is-
than me.
And one more.
One less. Yeah. Well, one more would be good.
But here's the thing, though. Do you collect anything?
Hummus.
Memories.
Hummus, I do collect. Well, no, I don't collect that. It disappears.
Hummus. Possessions that live in your car?
Well, that's rude.
Books.
Books? Yeah,
I
do
do
you collect
collect
books?
But I don't, I mean, I just buy books and I read them.
Yeah, cars are a very expensive hobby. But I would argue that it's more expensive than books, arguably.
Depends on the
I'd say
book.
it's one of the most
technically.
expensive hobbies.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is, especially if you want to like race them. It can
Yeah.
get incredibly
Yeah.
expensive.
Or like fix them up. Like that can get. talk to
Yes.
the
As
case.
Case is learning.
Yeah.
Yes. As he knows.
Yeah.
Don't know what you guys are
A
talking
year-long
about.
engine swap, you know.
But I don't think like collecting cars is all that much different than like collecting stamps. The mentality of it.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand that
Yeah.
there is just like an initial spark. Like, it is just what you love. And I love that. I love people that love something. And that's why I like working here, because you guys are so like passionate and energetic about it. It doesn't feel like, okay, we gotta go do this, you know? Like, so I think it's contagious. I just don't understand the spark.
And I also think I would argue that what like Case and I do, technically it is like a collection. But so for example, like Jay Leno
It's a bad collection.
has a couple hundred cars.
Yeah.
And he refuses to sell. Like he just doesn't sell cars. And to his credit, he does drive them. But like we do a pretty good job of keeping them all on the road and then cycling them out like
Right.
when we're done. You know what
That's
I'm
also
saying?
kind of crazy when you think about it, though. I bought one car and I like wanted to pass out. It was so much work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work.
Like, you guys are just so used to that
Mary's
process.
over here.
Because I rinse, reuse, repeat, like, which is kind of impressive.
Well, but at the same time, like I think once you've gone through the process of buying and selling a car so many times, it gets easier. Like if,
Sure,
if
just like
we
anything.
were to try and make hummus, we would probably struggle quite a bit.
They would
Yeah.
also pass out.
But
Yeah.
yeah. But when you've made like a habit out of it and you know all the steps and you're just,
Yeah.
You know what I
You
mean?
can also be
Hummus.
smart about it.
Hummus.
I'm very rarely am I smart about it, but if you play correctly, you can buy a car for quote unquote cheap. Like I bought a Jeep once for $4,000 because I wanted to experience it. It was cool and I knew it was a good deal. And then I put $1,000 into it and then I sold it for $9,000. So like there are people too
XJ?
that use this hobby to make money.
Right,
XJ.
yeah, that's true.
Cherokee.
It's true, too. So how do you explain that? So, Case, to your point, and Jen, I want you to answer this, too. When people ask you, not you, tell me. When
Slide
people
back.
are like, okay, like, why cars? What's the deal? Like, what do you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the external thing, like we've talked about so far, the kind of the fashion of it, the culture of it, the community of it, that's kind of the easiest thing to see. I think the hardest thing to pin down is internally, because when we were little kids, it's not like we were going to car shows, what's up, brother? And like had
But now you do.
had fashion. Now, definitely.
What's up, bro?
Yeah.
I don't see Case doing that ever.
I think that didn't come from the soul. You
No,
didn't feel like
no,
that
no.
was
feel like
real?
it.
All
Yeah,
right.
you felt
not
All
taste.
right. Well, do agree to disagree, but yeah, when we were that age, I don't think we really got into cars because of the fashion of it, because of the utility of it, because we, at that point, shouldn't have been driving them. Doesn't mean we weren't. But I think for me, the kind of the internal spark, the draw is like what I was saying not yesterday, that was today, earlier, moments ago. They're almost like living, breathing things, so they're kind of cool machines. And to me, in a way, like in the same way you can appreciate art, they're functional sculptures. They have beautiful lines and proportions and a lot of design put into them and cool mix of materials. But it's also it's a sculpture, a design that you can actually take it and use it. That also, contributes to your independence and also has fashion and that outward thing as well. So I think there's kind of a combination of things, but it's just like this beautiful, living, breathing, sculpted piece of art that you can also use and appreciate, and that has to be this big component in your life.
Well said.
Yeah, wow.
Well said.
Do you feel more appreciation for it when you can like get in there and tinker with it yourself? Like when you can really see how it's working?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, like I did a lot of work on my 84 190E. Like radiator replacements, water pump replacements, slave cylinder, framework, like I did a lot of work on that car. And I felt such a sense of accomplishment, and I felt like I knew my car a lot more after being able to work on it myself rather than just ship it out to a shop and then get it back when it's done. You know what I mean?
It does take a lot of time, though.
Oh, absolutely. I had no car for like 3 months.
Well, that's how you get to know something or someone is time.
Time well spent. It's fun. It can
Yeah,
be fun.
it can be fun. Yeah. I'm not as good at it as Case or Jen, apparently. And I do like small things and oil changes and that kind of thing. And I would like to do more, but it is like, all right, on Sunday, this is going to be valve adjustment day. And you'd be like, okay, sorry, everybody, I'm going to be in the garage for 6 hours doing a valve adjustment.
And then
Listening
6
to
turns
Creed.
to 12.
And then it turns into 12.
Yeah.
And then the Creed comes on.
If there's Creed in my garage, I'm selling the house.
6 feet from the
Good
edge.
idea.
It's like getting a ferret in your closet.
It's
Sell
an
the house.
infestation.
It's an infestation.
More bad takes from Tommy.
What else you got, Mary?
Well, first of all, I really liked what both of you said. I thought you said it very poetically.
Yes, he did.
You're like, you
Well, no, it's just that what they said connects to another thing that I said, which is just that like curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. Right, so like that's the full phrase. Did you know that?
What?
Yeah, the cat didn't even die.
We always just kind of go with the first part of it.
Yeah, but like there's even more so there's a natural curiosity for a lot of people just about cars, right? Like you feel that lope, you feel the open headers, like you're like, oh, I want to know more about this. And so then once you do start learning about it, like there's even more satisfaction in like learning how to manipulate it. And like okay, this is not a good example, but yesterday I saw a Honda Civic with like a huge exhaust thing on the back, and it sounded scary. I was like, and I'm like wondering if that guy just didn't have a better car to like, manipulate the sound on. And he's just like, I have a Civic.
It does happen.
Yeah.
It's what we're working
I can
with.
picture the Civic, I think.
But
We all can.
to your point, Case, like it's an incredibly human thing to want. Like I want to open it up and see how it works, and furthermore, I want to see if I can make it work better. Right?
Yeah.
Like I think that's a very human. That was when I got to that part in like the psychology. I was like, okay, that makes sense to me. Because it's a puzzle. It's like a never-ending, constantly moving puzzle.
What about when you make your car work worse on purpose?
Well, then that's just part of the puzzle. What? On purpose? Make it work worse?
I can think of
Sometimes,
one
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Like one thing with my tire company that I hated is like the stanced vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they'll leave the new tire stickers on their car because their tires are tilted out so much that
A lot of
you
camber.
can keep the tire stickers on because it only touches about this much of your tires.
And
They were
your
my
tires will last like 3,000
they were my
miles.
Yeah.
favorite customers because the tires were
Saw 'em all the time.
going through
What's up,
like
Jim?
so fast. Yeah, I'm
few
like,
weeks.
come on back.
Remember
See
we were
you
talking
They're
about
so stretched and like it just
Yeah.
is so
How
bad.
is it installing a stretch tire?
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful. You need the bead bazooka, and sometimes that doesn't even work.
What's the bead
Bead
bazooka?
bazooka?
Is that like a bedazzler for a tire?
So close, yeah, but not at all. But it's essentially like this air gun that you. Yep, the
Wow.
bead,
Syringe.
bead
Oh, it's
bazooka.
literally called the bead
The
bazooka.
bead bazooka, yeah.
That's-
So
What
you
the
put
heck does
that
that do?
when you're inflating the tire and you're installing it.
Like a
a shot of massive air so that it can pop up. Otherwise, since the wheel is so much wider than the tires are skinny, it's not sealing that bead when you're airing it up.
So that's like the intelligent person's alternative to shooting starting fluid in a tire and
Yes,
dipping a
exactly.
torch.
100%.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right on. That's cool. Bead bazooka.
Bead
There's
bazooka.
There's a 3, a 6, and a 10.
I had
What do you
a
have?
I think we had the 6.
Okay.
I had a friend in high school who made his car so low he couldn't drive in a straight line down the road because he would have to swerve to avoid any
Oh yeah,
hole.
yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous.
He couldn't go. He had to park away from the school because there was a speed bump in front of the school and he couldn't get over the speed
that's
bump.
fun.
When you're in high school, that's the coolest thing you could do with your car.
I think you know this person.
Do I?
Yeah.
Is it Nathan?
I think it might be.
Oh, wow.
Actually,
That's
it was Nathan's brother. Yeah, he had
that's
like this
funny.
neon.
But to that point, it's like fashion, right? It's like what you think looks cool.
Yeah.
Yes, it is fashion.
Right.
And
That
fashion sometimes works worse as well. That's why Case always dresses great. He's practical. He's got his t-shirt.
Well, he just bought some new clothes, which
I
we're
did. I
very
bought
proud
new
of him.
clothes.
We're
Yeah.
so happy.
Yeah.
for
It was
you.
such a big thing. He came in and told us.
Yeah, he did.
I'm really excited.
But it is interesting when fashion like intersects with functionality.
You know, I have something to say about that. So where I live, I only have space for one car, and it barely enough space for one
Right.
car.
This is where your boyfriend got stung by a jellyfish.
No, not in the canyon. No, that was Mexico.
Not in Colorado. There are no. I don't think there are any jellyfish.
But
here.
yeah, you know, in this tiny little canyon town, there's barely any parking available. So I don't have the ability to buy a bunch of different cars or a bunch of different outfits, if you will. So that's why it's really hard for me to decide what kind of car I want to jump to next, because it's like, well, this is the same outfit I'm going to wear for the foreseeable future. So it's just really
more factors to take.
it's really difficult. Otherwise, I'd be like, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that, but
Yeah.
I got nowhere to put them.
It's like living in LA too.
Yeah.
You're very space constrained.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of constraints for sure. There was another thing that I learned, and you guys can help me figure out if you think this is true or not. But it's coming back to psychology and like the difference between like men and women. Generalization, of course, so don't get up in arms. But men typically work on cars to like change or improve their functionality, right? Like tires or engines, mufflers, transmissions, whatever. And women, I don't remember which website this was from, but it was like a psychological study done where it said women work on cars to change or improve the space inside, like personalizing the steering wheel or getting like seat covers or cup holders or storage containers to better suit like packing needs. So I think that's also interesting.
I agree with that, but I am not part of that, I think. I think I'm more a part of the men in that, because I haven't changed a dang thing on the inside of my car.
Well,
there's hardly
it's
there's
a
hardly
generalization,
anything
but like,
on the inside.
So, for example, Mary customized the inside of her car with every Twilight book
And a disco ball.
and a disco ball.
So for a long time, I thought you were just making, like, I thought I had seen like a beach ball in the back of my car. I was in the back earlier, and it is in fact there.
You didn't know.
No, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was like a running joke that I just like said. It's legit.
Yeah, no, I've seen it too.
You have?
When we went to go get your car done with emissions.
Oh my God.
And I just didn't say anything because I didn't want to. I just thought it was
Didn't want to
normal, you know?
offend.
Yeah.
That's a normal thing to have back there.
Yeah.
How
We don't
far
have
is
a
the beach from
beach.
here?
We're in
You don't
Colorado.
need a beach. You can have fun on dry
In your
land.
car?
You go to
Beach
graduations a lot, you
Give me
know?
a pillow. Yes.
Go to graduations a lot.
Like, how often
Yeah.
do you roll up to an event and you say, "Oh my God, I forgot to bring a prop"?
My beach
It's
ball.
0 times. I think it's 0 times. for
Although,
me. Yeah.
for my wife's birthday, we needed a karaoke microphone.
Guess who had one?
Well, you
Boom.
know, that's why
Mary.
knowing someone like Mary is perfect, because she's kind of like, she's got the gadgets.
Case came up to me
All
this
the
morning. I was like,
gadgets.
man, I really wish I had all the Twilight books.
in my Mercedes. It ruined my drive this morning that I didn't.
and I had them for you.
There you go.
So there you go. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's a combination, right? The mixture of need in America, especially.
Yes.
Early exposure, which seemed to happen to all three of you.
We
It
got
did not happen
exposed.
to me. I was like, I never experienced a time where I was like, this car makes me want to know more about cars or having a car toy or something like that. Individualism, like fashion and stuff like that. Creativity, which kind of comes into like the tinkering with it. Problem solving, also tinkering, and also status.
Yeah. And it's interesting to see how like car culture is different in different cultures.
Yeah, that's true too.
And it's also limited based on like customization is a big part of car culture, and it's limited based on like what the country will let you do. So, for example, the rules are much more strict about, you know, what kind of wheels and tires and suspension mods you can do. But then like, Cole, look at this car. It's a thing in Japan, the Bazuoka.
Oh, like Bosuzoku.
Yeah. Bosuoko
Yeah, we're just gonna. Yeah.
car.
We're going to
pretty close.
phonetically.
There's
search
a, there's
this
a Z
car.
in there, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is-
I've watched videos with this.
Mary
Yeah.
likes it.
This is
Okay, case.
this is the thing in Japan where you just make your car look insane.
Yeah.
Mary and I were talking earlier, and she was thinking about doing that on a RAV4.
I think that would look good.
I've watched this guy with his SL600 or his S600 too. But I've watched him with this insane car. He has to take the front splitter off, obviously, because you can't like drive anywhere in that. And then the tailpipes
Could you
also
imagine getting hit by that car?
get installed. It's insane.
It would hit your ankles so long before it hit the rest of you. You'd have time to go get that.
No, it would slice your ankles off. Clean off the body.
Your ankles would be in a cast before you hit the hood.
Oh my Lord.
Cole is judging this car so hard right now. Oh
not a-
man,
it's
he's
not a
shaking
great
his head. So guys, Mary, thank you for taking us down
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm kind of curious to see if anyone listening feels like that was an accurate summary. Of
I think
why.
that was really good. And I think we should do a full-length video on this because
Yeah.
Mary's done some really detailed Mary's done some really detailed notes here that I really want to go
You
through.
looking at the wrong camera again?
No, I keep bumping my chin.
Oh,
Have you ever seen Doofenshmirtz?
Yes, from Phineas and
Doctor.
Ferb.
Doctor.
Doofenshmirtz Evil Incorporated.
It's weird saying Doofenshmirtz
Doofenshmirtz. Yeah.
without the doctor in front of it, but
Dr.
that's what I feel like
Doofenshmirtz.
today, just my long chin.
That's a
Cole is pulling up
Oh,
pictures
goodness.
of Doofenshmirtz,
Oh,
and there's
okay.
a picture of Billie Eilish.
So there's a show, Jen, called
Apparently.
Perry the Platypus.
no. It's Phineas and Ferb.
Basically,
character, though. You're
if
close.
I've said anything in this podcast today, it is incorrect. But Phineas and Ferb, great show.
I think my
Excellent
nieces
show.
watch it.
I still watch it if it's available.
Are
You
you
watch Phineas and Ferb?
Are you suggesting that there's a similarity between you and this character?
Yes, me and Doofenshmirtz, my long chin. He's bumping into the microphone.
I mean,
Can you style your hair like that one day?
Like that?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Just like a palm tree?
Yeah.
6 spokes.
I love that they put him next to a palm tree.
can you go as Dr. Doofenshmirtz
Literally
for
the
Halloween?
What are you going to be?
Perry the Platypus.
Good
So
ideas.
I'm just going to be Dr. Doofenshmirtz, and all of our friends are going to be something totally different.
Correct.
I'm just going to be a
That'd be
man
pretty
in a
great.
white lab coat
Well,
with
we've got
bad
the-
hair.
You already
We've
have
got
the white
lab
lab coat.
Yeah, we've got the
That's
white
true.
coats.
I just need some bad hair
And a black turtleneck.
and a great accent. And seriously, if you're listening to this podcast, not sponsored, check out Perry and Phineas.
So close.
What's it called?
That
You
would've
got
been-
it. No, nobody tell him.
That was
Okay.
a bad
You
ad
got it.
read, Tommy.
Phineas and Ferb.
There it is. Nice.
I got, I think, a Billie Eilish, and then I
Yeah.
got it. Yeah.
It's close.
But what is sponsored is our next segment. Our trivia segment is brought to you by our friend Scott O'Sullivan and O'Sullivan Law
Are
Firm.
we not doing Corvettes first?
We will do Corvettes in a second,
Oh, okay.
but we are going to do our trivia segment first. Thank you for giving me a weird look. I have thrown it off, but I did want to talk about Scott O'Sullivan because Scott's a big friend of the podcast and the channel, and he specializes in anything legal and car related.
Absolutely. We've been working with him for the last several years because he and everyone that he works with are really great people to work with. That's why we keep working with them over the last several years. I just said the same thing like 3 times back to back.
You said it with confidence. Though.
Yeah, both
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
But basically, if you ever need legal representation, either on 2 wheels or 4, because he helps represent people on motorcycles as well, so
Yes.
we've been working with him on the motorcycle channel, then definitely call Scott first.
Yeah, call Scott first. That was our tagline. I like that. He came up with that.
That's pretty good.
Call Scott first.
Scott first.
Yeah, and check him out using the link below. But genuinely, like, we've known several people who have needed his legal assistance due to
Yeah. And
traffic
he's also
problems.
just a nice guy.
Yeah,
I've gone
super
and
nice
hung
guy.
out with him before.
Big
He's
car
awesome.
enthusiast as well.
Yeah.
He turned a motorcycle into a blender.
Which
I'm
is
sorry.
also pretty rad.
What?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, he took a classic motorcycle and then rigged it up to this contraption so he could make smoothies with the motorcycle.
That's
Wow.
awesome.
It's the preferred way to blend.
Yes, I only blend using gasoline these days.
preferred way to blend is awesome.
Yeah.
What-
Yeah.
How
don't
else are you
agree?
going to make margaritas, you
Yeah.
know?
Right?
Cole's
Yeah, I
was
think
looking it up.
Cole's actually going to find a video of
Did
it.
he really?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
incredibly cool.
Get
Yeah,
out
because
of my town.
Scott is usually at the Overland Expo, which is pretty cool because he just stays involved in stuff that's going on in the car industry.
There it
so
is.
we naturally end up running into him. This is his personal bike too, which is pretty cool.
So
so
there's-
there's Scott.
I have that T-shirt.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's a cool
Yeah.
T-shirt.
I
So
like
there's his
that.
bike,
Is that not the
thing's
coolest
cool.
blender?
That's awesome.
and then he fires it up, and he
Wow.
can make smoothies. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
incredible.
Very
Uh-huh.
well done.
Yeah,
what
Scott's
other
the best.
lawyer
That
makes
that is so
smoothies
cool.
with a
Yeah,
two-stroke
that's
engine?
our guy. That's our guy right there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That is so cool.
That is innovation that excites.
I think that's
Someone
taken.
else's.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's the Home Depot.
That's not the
actually
Home
not
Depot.
the. Yeah,
that's the power of the Home Depot.
Innovation that excites is not the Home Depot.
What is it?
that's the power of the home.
I think it's
Home Depot
HP.
is like
HP?
innovation that excites.
The power of the Home Depot. It's the Home Depot, Mary. It's in the name.
I always say innovation that excites. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Do you guys ever listen to the Home Depot song just on its own?
Yes, I almost applied to Home Depot with like that
that
song,
song?
playing.
Nissan is innovation that excites.
What?
So not the Home Depot
Or HP.
or HP.
God, guys, this is a
It's a
terrible
good
at our
thing
job.
we don't do cars.
Anyway, Scott, thank you for sponsoring
Thank you,
this.
Scott.
He's
Thank
the only reason we are still sitting here.
Yeah, we really appreciate you.
So big thank you to Scott for making this happen. So Mary's going to bring us trivia.
Yes.
She has another 3,000 questions for us.
I've actually shaved it down a little bit. It's only 15 questions now instead of 25.
It'll be
Okay.
really interesting to see by how much is Jen going to win this time?
No,
That's
come
usually
on.
what we're trying
I'm just
to figure
a lucky
out.
guesser
And
when it
by
comes
how
to
much I'm gonna
numbers.
Jen,
lose.
being good at guessing is a big part of trivia.
Okay, that's fair.
It's also a big part of life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
well,
Can you guys see if I'm
No.
No.
I'm just gonna look this way.
just not gonna look?
Mary's always
gonna look this
concerned about
way.
espionage during trivia. Like what are the benefits here,
what are we
Mary?
gaining?
I don't know.
I might have to because I've really got a poor record. In
Yeah.
this
You've
game.
really dug yourself a
The
hole.
key with
Yeah.
trivia is not being very smart with cars. That's what we've learned. No, now I call
Wow.
Jen not smart with
Wow,
cars.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
gout.
I'm
All right.
referencing my wife. She does
All
not
right.
know cars, but she's incredibly good at trivia.
That is true.
Yeah, she listens to this sometimes, and then she texts me. She's like, "I wish I could play," because she's very good at it. You are very smart.
I'm coming out for you now.
Yeah.
Now she's got fire in her bones. Okay, number 1. Volkswagen was involved in a major scandal in 2015 for what?
Dieselgate.
Emissions, yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Correct.
I'm coming after you, Jen.
It was using software to cheat on emissions
Yeah.
tests.
Case didn't know that.
Case
yeah,
was
I totally
suspiciously quiet.
didn't hear about Dieselgate. Well, Tommy already got
Okay.
it immediately.
The U.S. Clean Air Act of 1970 introduced what?
Catalytic converters?
That would have been.
I'm gonna
is
say
it carbon?
cafe standards. Corporate. Okay, that was clearly wrong. As trivia master,
Was
you
this a
can-
certain type of emissions testing?
it was. Did it establish the EPA?
The answer I have written down is significant emission standards for vehicles. So technically, she's close.
Well, we're all kind of in that boat. But
I'm gonna be so real. I'm gonna be so for real. What does
Really?
the catalytic converter do?
it
Has nothing to do with cats. I'll tell you
Catalyzes.
that. I'll tell you that.
That's true.
that's the worst answer.
Catalyzes?
Catalyzes.
What does that verb mean?
It's
To catalyze.
What if I catalyze a person? What am I doing to them?
Don't catalyze. the
Don't
person.
catalyze them. Whatever you do.
You know, there's a lot of precious metals inside catalytic converters, which is why a lot of people were getting theirs stolen off of their
So
cars.
it's a little.
Nobody has told me what they do.
So you have your engine, and then you have a pipe coming out of the engine, which is your exhaust pipe.
Bam.
And then it goes into a little box
Straight up.
full of very expensive elements. Many things and an adium, palladium and magnesium.
a lot of
and-
adiums.
Yes, I
So
don't know.
only one.
Literally nobody knows. But then what comes out the other end is much cleaner exhaust.
For some reason.
So you have these catalysts that absorb, maybe, or convert, maybe, some of the
Maybe.
chemicals in your exhaust and then makes it cleaner at the
Okay,
other end.
thank
We're not
you.
chemists.
Yes.
but
Okay,
there's-
got it.
There's
Just
something.
car
There's
folks.
something going on.
Someone's out there
Something's happening.
screaming at
Yeah, like,
a
if you-
catalyst is this.
Well, I know that like a catalyst is something that like speeds up a reaction.
Exactly. So
Catalyzes.
it
Maybe.
Yeah, but
Perhaps.
that's
So
is
smart,
that a
Case.
verb?
to catalyze. Yeah.
catalyze?
You could catalyze Dexter tonight.
Is it?
Jesus.
Wow.
None of this
the car
makes
is after the
nothing
dark.
makes-
Dexter wouldn't exist
Catalyze.
after tonight.
So it's like murder.
Murder. Yeah. So it's a little murder box that murders the carbon dioxide.
Real word.
Oh wow. Okay, so I knew the word catalyst, but I wasn't smart enough to put it together.
They
Couldn't change
catalyze.
the last two letters.
Apparently not.
Okay, rad. So Jen got that point. Number 3. Tesla is one of the leading companies in the development of self-driving cars. Which other company in this development gives Tesla a run for its money?
BYD.
I mean,
This is kind of a vague
super
question.
Cruise. Yeah, super Cruise. Well, I'm going to say Waymo.
Okay.
Yes. Because Super Cruise isn't really. I'll go Super Cruise.
It's Waymo.
Ah, I got one.
Nice. We're tied up, ladies and gents.
Let's end the game here. So our next
You want
segment.
to end it on a tie? That's
Yeah.
embarrassing for
It's
you.
the
he's
best
gonna
I'm
get.
gonna
That's really embarrassing. Okay. The NHTSA conducts rigorous crash tests to ensure vehicle safety. What does NHTSA stand for?
National Highway
Traffic Safety Administration.
Tommy's got that.
Who do I give it to?
That
was a team effort.
That was Tommy.
It's a team effort right there.
Do you know what they call it in the industry?
In the industry?
Yes.
No.
NHTSA.
NHTSA.
Because that
Even gets
speeds
a-
it up.
Bonus
Try to say
point.
it fast. NHTSA.
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 NHTSA. Oof.
NHTSA. The more you know.
Bonus point for Tommy.
Okay. Who are the big 3 U.S. automakers?
GM, Ford, Chevy. I mean, not Chevy.
Stellantis.
Stellantis. Yeah. Not
We gotta
Ram,
stop
but
tag
Stellantis.
teaming these. It really confuses
Yeah.
Mary.
I'm like, who do I give it to? So this said GM, Ford, and Chrysler.
Yeah, which is
Sure.
Stellantis.
You can give it to Jen.
Okay.
Tommy's feeling
Who are the big
kind.
four?
Big four.
Not Tesla.
No, there was a fourth one.
Nissan.
No. Japanese. Thank you for your
I
attending.
see.
AMC.
AMC, American Motors.
Oh,
Oh,
AMC.
nice.
And then-
They were involved with Jeep for a
Not the
second.
movies.
Yes, that's
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And then American Motors kind
Mary
of
gets a point.
was absorbed into
Oh, I don't know.
not Nissan, Chrysler.
Okay, got it. Automakers are increasingly focusing on sustainability, with many pledging to go fully electric by what year?
Isn't it like mid 2030s?
I think it's 2030. I'm going 2030.
Say
Yeah, I was
2035.
I guess too. I feel like I got to pick a different one now.
It's okay, Case. You won't get it. It is
Yeah, I won't.
2035. Jen was on the money.
It's 2035.
2035.
I would like to say though these numbers are constantly changing.
That's true too.
Yeah.
Constantly.
That's true too. That
Yeah.
won't get you a point, but that is true. Okay, I'm gonna butcher this name, but the Toyota Mirai,
Mirai.
Mirai.
whatever, is an example of an emerging alternative to electric cars.
Hydrogen.
What fuels it?
Oh,
Hydrogen.
good one. Kay's got one.
Hydrogen fuel cells.
I mean, Tommy.
What's the,
Tommy could have shouted that out.
what is the other car
Just
powered
as
by
easily.
hydrogen?
Oh, the Honda. Well, there's a CRV.
There's a couple, yeah, but the other
isn't
big
there
one.
the fuel cell CRV. Yeah. Other than the Mirai.
I just did a video on this. I'm so
I don't
disappointed.
watch your videos.
I think you edited this video. Did
The
you edit this
Inster?
video?
The
No.
Instaroid?
No.
The Ionic 5?
No, it's the Nexo.
Oh,
I
that's
wasn't
right.
gonna remember
God, I
that.
did watch that.
Okay, launched in 2010. Which vehicle was one of the first mass market EVs?
Oh,
Is that the Leaf?
Nissan Leaf.
It was the Leaf.
It
Yeah.
was the Leaf.
It was the Leaf.
Good
Huh.
job, Jen.
An unforgettable car.
An unforgettable.
Indeed.
One day we're going to show up and it's just going to be Leaf trivia.
All
Mary is,
about
God.
leaves.
Mary is just pushing her Leaf
If you're talking
propaganda.
about a fleet of leaves, do you say the leaves?
I would say the Lofts.
The leaves. With a VES.
Or do you say
yeah.
the leafs?
Leafs.
If you say a fleet of Priuses, the Priuses?
Prii.
Is there a
Prii?
Prii? Yeah.
No, I'm
Huh.
serious. Do you change leaf to leaves?
I think
No.
that's pretty funny though.
Fleet of leaves.
That's incredibly dumb. Wow, look at
Okay.
all those leaves
A whole
over
branch
there.
of those leaves over there.
It's a whole branch.
But that's a good point, because technically it would be leaves, wouldn't
yeah,
it?
the leafs.
Yeah.
But that sounds
Leaves.
wrong.
Just sounds a little wrong.
It
Yeah,
does
it
sound
does.
wrong.
It's because we speak English as our first language, so we're like,
Just
that's
also
not
very
quite the plural. Okay, what was the first production electric sports car?
Sports car?
Roadster.
Oh, yeah.
Tesla Roadster.
Tesla Roadster.
2008.
Jen is demolishing you guys.
Well, she's
Yeah,
fast.
she always does.
That's the whole
Like a
point.
roadster.
Her brain is better.
In our defense, we're dumber.
That's the problem.
Okay. All right, guys.
This one's
Which
mine.
brands make up Stellantis?
Okay.
Oh, there's a lot.
Tommy's
Okay,
I'm just gonna let you
because
roll
there's
with
some
it.
weird European
We're
ones.
going to Dodge, Chrysler, Ram, Jeep. I think that's all the Americans. Then you have Fiat in Europe, Alfa Romeo, Maserati. They spun off Ferrari, so I don't think it's Ferrari. Then it gets hard.
They're weird words.
What about the
'Cause
French?
I think it's Peugeot or Citroën.
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 Citroën. The thing about French, it's all in the throat.
Yeah, I noticed saying that.
Clearly, I know French.
Renault? No.
It's either Citroën, Renault, or Peugeot. I don't know which one. It's one of the French.
I mean, you're getting the point.
Do you not actually?
like,
I don't
feel
know
like
which
you-
one it is. I think it might be Citroën and
I think
DS. I
Tommy
think
is
those are.
sandbagging.
Or maybe it is Peugeot. Okay, Mary, what is it?
there's like 15.
Okay. I'm going to give you the point.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
But
Who do we forget?
it's okay. Alfa Romeo,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Citroën,
Oh, it was
Citroën.
Citroën.
Dodge, DS Automobiles,
That's part of Citroën, yeah.
whatever, Fiat, Jeep,
Whatever.
Lancia,
Lancia. Oh,
Yeah.
good one.
a
Still make
Barth,
cars?
Abarth. That's
Abarth.
the fast Fiat.
Yeah.
Maserati,
yes.
Opel,
Opel.
Opal.
I think
What?
they closed.
Opel,
Opel.
Like an Opal GT.
Yeah.
interesting.
Weren't they GM?
They were, but they sold them.
Peugeot,
Peugeot? It was Peugeot.
Ram,
Yes.
and Vauxhall.
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 I
love it.
Vauxhall.
Vauxhall, Vauxhall.
Yeah, Vauxhall.
Vauxhall. I
That's-
thought it was still on the French train. You
That's
can't blame
that's
me.
a British Opel.
Vauxhall.
Vauxhall.
Opel is a
Vauxhall.
weird word.
Vauxhall.
That's a good one.
Yes, a Vauxhall.
Okay, good job, Tommy. Turbocharged engines provide more power and efficiency by forcing the air into what?
The engine.
Nope, something a little more specific.
The cylinder?
Yeah, right.
The intake?
Yeah, I would say the intake, right?
Everything in between the turbo and the piston. So yeah, the intake.
The air goes through all of it.
Danger to manifold.
The manifold? Intake manifold?
This is the combustion chamber.
Okay. We all get a point. That's dumb. That's just the engine. Combustion chamber, my butt.
That is
Okay.
what Case said.
Yeah,
All right,
give it to
I'll give it
Case.
to Case.
Wow,
we'll
I
give
get
you, we'll
sympathy
give you a
points
point.
today.
That's-
I'm in the running now.
Combustion
Okay,
chamber.
what is the most common car amongst Uber drivers?
Oh, good one.
Oh man, Corolla. No, I've been to Seattle. Prius.
I'm going to say Tesla Model 3.
Oh, those were both what I was gonna say.
Well, you should have said it faster.
I know.
Jen.
A Jan.
Yeah,
I'll go RAV4. I know it's
the
not.
Prius.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Seattle?
No.
Cole has. He's from Oregon. Every single taxi, Uber, everything, they're all Priuses. You walk out of the airport.
Good taste in cars right there.
Oh my God.
I like that.
So
The
anyway,
more you know.
The more you know.
And all my friends'
in
moms.
Portland too.
And
All of
Cole's
Cole's
friends'
friends'
moms.
moms drive Priuses.
Do they drive for Uber? Oh, all right.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a tight race, guys. Jen has 5, Case has 4, Tommy has 3.
What?
Yeah.
I got like 6. How do I have 3?
It was just one of your answers was really long.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, you just kept talking.
Typical man over here. Wouldn't shut up.
Oh, man. Okay. Based on a plethora of internet reviews, who are the top 2 best car insurance companies / have the highest customer satisfaction rates?
Well, Scott O'Sullivan. Easily
Doesn't,
up the top.
sure.
doesn't
Scott.
do car
Scott's
insurance,
no
so
offense.
let's go ahead and dispel that myth. We're doing
State
such-
Farm.
we're
Really
doing
good
such
catch.
bad
Really good
advertising.
catch.
One's got to be State Farm.
Okay, Jen says State Farm.
State
I'm
Farm
saying
is horrible.
progressive.
Have you met
And-
Jake? God.
Jake is too hot.
The OG
I
State
think
Farm now?
I think Jake from State Farm should be a little uglier.
Why should
He used to be.
OG Jake was.
Yeah, OG Jake.
He was more relatable.
Yeah.
You think he's too hot?
Yeah.
Why?
Stop employing
OG.
hot people.
Yeah. OG Jake was too hot.
I think it's
Employ more Tommies.
For sure.
I think it's both the states. I think it's Allstate and State Farm.
No,
Okay.
I don't. That's wrong.
Okay, well then tell me what's right.
It's Liberty Mutual.
Anyway,
You mean
that's
Bibberty Mutual?
Liberty Mutual.
Liberty Bibbity.
Case?
I'm going to say Progressive and Haggerty. Those are the 2 I use, so why not?
Okay. Jen gets that point.
Oh God.
It's
The
the
states?
states. It's the states.
It's not both of them. It's State Farm is one of them. The other one is USAA.
Like I said, Liberty Mutual.
I can attest. I have USAA, and I love them.
Who is Liberty Mutual's mascot?
An
An
email.
emu.
Not an eagle.
It's an emu.
What's its name?
Emo.
Limu.
Limu.
Limu. That's
Limu.
right.
Right, that's a point for me.
So anyway,
Limu the emu?
Limu emu. You remember those commercials that are like,
Emu, emu. No,
Yeah.
no, I don't remember those.
who is the best State Farm? Who is the best insurance mascot?
Flo?
Mayhem.
I think it's Flo.
Mayhem's
I think it's
pretty good.
Mayhem.
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 Yeah.
No, he
It's
bothers
Flo.
me.
Yeah, he
Although
bothers me.
He
the-
feels like he does violence.
The new guy for
Limu's up there.
progressive, the new old guy that talks about like your neighbors and not turning into your parents, I think it's progressive.
Oh, that's State
I
Farm, isn't it?
is
Or
it?
farmers?
She said
Farmers,
she thinks
right?
it's progressive.
I thought it was
The old
progressive.
guy.
He's an old, not.
Oh, I think I know. What
I've
you're
always
talking
liked
about.
Flo.
He's
I
like,
like Flo.
oh, why do they never call them clean bikes, right? Because they're dirt bikes. I don't know. I think those are they're really,
I know
but
what
it's
you're
all
talking- I was
commercials
thinking of a
about
different
not
thing.
turning into your
Yeah.
parents. But those are
a
that's
good
been my favorite so far.
Okay, so this one is a year, so somebody gets a point. In what year was the first electric car built? Like the very first one.
1903.
Yeah, I'm going to say 1901.
Wasn't it in the 1800s?
Probably
be.
is if
Like-
you're going to say it.
Well,
Yeah, right.
I thought the first electric car came out in the 1800s.
Pick a year.
Yeah,
Okay,
pick you.
1865.
Wow.
That's way
The
back.
Civil War.
Well, I thought it was like way before.
yeah, but the first car came out in 1885.
Ben's packing
Fine,
my wagon.
then you shouldn't be worried.
What is it?
All
That's
right.
1828.
Okay. Hang on.
Cole, can you look up 1828 Años Jedlik? Anyos
This is not a real car.
Jedlik. So that's the first electric car.
That's
Yeah.
that's an electric car.
That's not a real car. No, that's the patent wagon. Mary, where did you get this? Is that what it is?
That's the first electric car.
Oh, it's a
Technically.
model. I get it.
Technically, but it was. I remember reading about this.
No, that's a patent wagon.
Yeah, that's the first actual car.
This is crazy. It's like, here's a question. This
Yeah,
is another
let's scroll back up to the little like skateboard with a
with a telephone on it.
yeah. So, where do you sit? Where do you sit
back.
here?
In the back.
Where do you drive in, Jen? There's no steering wheel.
The first
There it
electric
is.
car. Where's the wheels? Look at that. That would sooner fly than it would drive.
Where's the wheels?
He's got upset.
This is a terrible trivia question. So one time at actual trivia, not Mary's crappy trivia. I went there because that's not a car.
1988.
Oh, it is pretty old. Apparently,
Electro wagon.
what company builds the most tires?
Tires?
Yeah,
The most?
the
Most.
most tires by a huge margin.
I would think it's Michelin, but I feel like that's
Any
maybe
guesses?
not right.
Johnson and Johnson.
Guess who it is? I said Michelin. I got second place. Lego.
Oh.
Oh, because toys.
Oh,
They build like 100 million. That was a Lego answer right there.
So you would
Yeah,
have been
right.
satisfied if you had gotten it,
Serious?
right?
As a man, probably.
okay, but what is this? The first real electric car is widely considered to be. See, this
Yeah,
is
like
like
one you
what
can actually sit
this
in.
is what I was thinking of in the 18. That's why I said
That is older than I
1860.
thought it would be.
Yeah, I thought
yeah.
it was 1800s.
The Flocken
Not
Electro
not
Wagon.
not the skateboard that.
But
Mary
it's
brought up.
it's the closest to.
But this is what I
1901.
was talking about.
Well, what year did you say?
1865.
I think you should
She's
give.
still. This is still early, but.
She was in the right century, and that's who
Okay,
gets
give
the
it to
point.
Jen.
Okay.
You're so mad.
Yeah, Tommy's upset.
Tommy, you
All
can
right.
have the point
Tommy,
if you
this is
want.
the last question. Ready?
Yeah.
It's also a number. On average, how many car crashes occur in the U.S. yearly?
11.
At least.
Case is done.
Definitely more
I'm
Case is
than
done.
more than 11.
If,
He's putting down the.
I'm sticking with it.
In the U.S. 45,000.
45,000 car crashes.
I like that
There's-
got more flack.
There's
than-
over
than my answer.
300 million cars.
I think that's 45,000 deaths, but I'm going with it because it's too late to change.
It's not.
Cool.
Okay, I'm going to
Change.
say 329,000.
it's got to be way more than that. There's 300 million cars in America alone.
Yep.
Tim is a good student.
But we are good drivers.
We maybe, but out there, not so much.
The unwashed masses crashing left and right.
I think there's at least 2 million car accidents.
What is it?
7.3 million.
You were close with 11.
I was really onto something there. I think I get the point, right?
Yeah, for sure. So this is actually really interesting. So it works out to 19,937 crashes every day. Oh, what'd you write, Cole?
Oh, Cole gets the point.
Cole wins.
How many crashes a day?
19,937 crashes every day. 118 deaths caused every day. Every day. 831 motor vehicle accidents every hour.
Wow.
14 wrecks every minute and 2 crashes every 10 seconds.
How many deaths a day?
I don't know. I didn't write that
I
stuff
thought you said
down.
118.
Oh, 818 deaths each day, yeah.
The crazy part is, you know how many people die on trains every day? 120.
You made that up.
I did.
That's
But that sounds
lie.
right.
It's an
That
absolute
sounds
lie.
correct.
Nobody dies via trains.
You have not been on the Amtrak.
That's true. I haven't.
I've
Or
been on the
MARTA
Amtrak.
in
Have you?
Atlanta.
I have.
Yeah.
Yes, it was quite. I took the Amtrak. There's actually a really cool Amtrak trip you can take. It's the one time I'll say anything good about trains, people. From San Diego to LA, like the Pacific Coast Amtrak.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
That's cool.
And there's a drink car where it was full of college kids getting wasted on cheap beers.
College kids.
So alcohol killed them.
Alcohol. Well, nobody died on this particular train.
So zero.
So
is the
0
real-
people died on this train. You're expecting a death?
I was like, you were building it up.
Mary's
there
like, I don't like stories unless someone dies in the story. Otherwise, it's a bad story.
I like conflict.
That much is apparent, everybody. So, thank you, Scott O'Sullivan, not the insurance agent, the lawyer,
The lawyer.
for sponsoring this series. And we, Mary excluded, thought we would discuss. Mary can be included if
Mary
she wants.
will definitely be included in this.
Okay, thank you, Jen.
So, a fellow podcast, our competition, This car pod, the Doug DeMuro podcast, way more popular than us,
Yeah.
but not sponsored by Scott O'Sullivan. So
So
here's
How
the thing.
good are
Yeah.
they?
And they don't have a Mary, so
So-
that's it's their loss. They ranked all of the Corvette generations, and you call Corvette C and then a number. So C1 is the oldest; it came out in '53. There it is.
Yep.
Wow.
And then go to C2, Cole. C2.
One-
oh
one more,
God!
one more,
Get
one
that
more.
out. That's
No,
there you go.
Tommy, it's not
Oh,
that
look.
bad.
So far
C2.
away.
Gorgeous.
that abomination we'll talk about in a sec. So C2. Go to the next one, Cole. C3.
Gorgeous.
Go to the next one, Cole.
What?
4. Next, fast.
Nice. Aw,
5. C5.
I dropped.
6, and then 7, and then 8 is the current one. So we thought we should rank them, just like Doug and his team did, to see, Mary's taking notes, to see if we can come up with a consensus on what the best generation of Corvette was. So, Jen, what's number 1 for
Okay,
you?
for me, it's difficult because for the most part, I like C3s, but that 63 C2 holds a very special place in my heart.
So you're putting that one at your number 1.
I'm putting C2 at number 1.
Okay.
For
What's
one specific year, yes.
specifically 63?
The 63, the split window.
All right.
Yeah.
I think for my number 1, I'm going to put the next generation.
A C3.
C3. I think that's the most beautiful Corvette ever made. I think
Very classic.
You can get with the big block. You can get a coupe convertible. It's just the best. Now, Case, what's your number 1?
I'm wrong.
Go one photo over.
Wow.
Whoa, there it is. So
Wow.
this obviously requires explanation. Given my co-hosts' abominable answers or reactions rather to me loving this gem.
This is if you're listening to podcasts, Case's favorite is the 1984 through 1989 Corvette.
Let's start with 85. 'Cause crossfire injection wasn't so good, which your C3 also had.
Now the
at
interest
the end.
that's true. It is interesting that Case brings this up. Mary, the reason this is so controversial
Everyone hates this car.
because this is pretty much unanimously agreed to be the least liked Corvette, and Case is putting it at his top.
But to
love
be
it.
fair, Case, this, my uncle had an 88, and this is the car that brought me online to cars.
This
so
is the one.
For
I
good
will
reason.
I will give it a little bit of a slide. It is still not the best.
The problem is everybody's uncle has had a C4 Corvette.
Correct.
Which is why it's at
and
the
not
bottom of
everyone's
the list.
uncles are as cool as I was when I owned this. Agreed? Agreed.
So why is this your favorite?
Yeah, so it requires some explanation.
Obviously.
Majesty. All hail. Yeah, the C4, the nice thing about it is because it's so criminally underrated, they're very cheap. You can pick up, as nice as a C4 Corvette can be, you can pick one up for about 10 grand. Here's the thing about Corvettes. Until pretty recently, Corvettes were not that well built, at all.
They were made out of shoestrings and potatoes.
And people criticize the C4 for not having a well-built interior. Fair enough. The RC3, cool car, very pretty. Is it any better built?
Case, I haven't heard a good point yet.
Yeah,
So,
I was
anyway.
waiting for the
They're not that bad.
All the downsides.
She's like Jardia, not that bad, actually.
No, Giardia is my main fear. C4 Corvette drives surprisingly well because this was a huge advancement over the C3 Corvette, which was basically a two-wheel drive pickup truck with a fiberglass body. C4 Corvette actually drives well. It can go around turns, shockingly, which is pretty incredible. They're reasonably reliable cars because it is still basically just a pickup motor, more or
No,
less.
not reliable, just reasonably reliable.
Reasonably, yeah.
According to
Reasonably.
whose reason?
Cases.
Yeah, when I owned one. The headlights like to get lazy sometimes, but that's easy.
Sometimes the headlights
Sometimes
don't.
you can't see at night,
They don't
but
pop
you
up.
can.
Yeah, I had a little bit of time when that was
No
the
big
case.
deal. Wear a headlamp and you're fine.
But so
It's reasonably safe.
it's not safe at all. So it's not safe, but it's pretty affordable. It's surprisingly fun to drive, pretty reliable. I used to get 25 miles per gallon in this car at, let's not say I was doing 90 miles an hour, but if I was getting 25 miles per gallon while doing it at like 2,200 RPM. It was great on the highway. It won a lot of drag
It did.
races when we were
Yes.
testing it.
But Case, what you're doing is you're basically saying you're making a lot of excuses for it.
It's for me, it's the sweet spot because like C1 through C3, they're beautiful, stunning.
Correct.
Not that incredible of a driving experience because it kind of drives
So
like a
let's
two-wheel
say you're
drive
going
pickup
through
truck.
a car show.
Yeah.
You see a C1, C2, C3, C4.
I'm like,
Which
beautiful.
one do you think
Happy
people
for you.
are crowding around?
I don't care. But matters to me none.
Because I'm not talking about the driving experience now. I'm just talking about the way they look.
I mean, if you're asking me which one do I want, like if I walk into my garage and I see like the C3 that we just bought and my old C4 I used to have parked next to it, I'm going to take the C4.
Here's
It
the
drives
thing.
better.
Basically,
it drives way better.
Case is saying the C4 Corvette is a Nickelback of Corvettes.
Correct.
Surprisingly not bad.
Yeah, actually pretty good.
Like everyone's guilty pleasure,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But you're saying you could have Pink Floyd or you could have Nickelback.
Yeah, I'm going
And you're
Pink Floyd
picking
all day.
Nickelback.
It just like our C3 is really cool. Maybe there's ones out there that drive way better than ours, but it's old enough that it's slow.
So
It's a slow car.
we've established Case is wrong.
Not that C4s are
Correct.
incredibly fast, but then you go newer than the C4 and you kind of lose
Case,
any
I would
of the
stop while you're
nostalgia.
ahead.
Jen, good idea, Mary. Jen, I think you should list through quickly your last
Okay,
7.
it's going to be a little difficult. Okay, so I'll go C2 first, then C3. Then it's going to jump to, surprisingly, a C5 because I had one of those and I loved it. Then I'm going to say C6, like Z06 C6. Pretty sick, except those headlights are atrocious. Then C1, C7, C8.
Wow, you put the new one at the bottom?
I did.
Don't you have C4 at the bottom? Or you missed one?
No, I'm sorry. C4 is this. Completely forgot to even list it.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
that's at the bottom. Okay. Wow. Unbelievable.
I know.
I'm just creating drama here where
I
there's no
know.
drama. All right, I'm going to go in my next, So I'm going to go C3 first. Then I'm going to go C7, believe it or not, which is the second to
Cole's
the
trying
newest
to
one.
keep up.
Thank you, Cole.
Flipping through photos.
C7. Then I'm going to take it way back and do C1.
But specifically, Tommy has some very...
Yeah, that
No,
one.
Tommy, the double headlights are not bad.
The double headlight C1s make me want to unexist.
For why?
They're this is the car you show up at the car show, and the people driving this are worse than the people driving C4s.
Stop it.
These are like the really old guys in their white Nikes who think they're actually cool.
Do you have a problem with the men or the car?
But
what-
the men have ruined the car.
What
for
year
me.
did the headlights change? Was it like,
Like 56
55?
or 55.
56. Okay,
Yeah.
so it was only around for
Beautiful.
2
Look at
3
that.
years.
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous car.
Yes.
And then they made them fat and ugly, and they made them too
don't know.
luxurious and too floaty.
I don't
That was
know.
an abomination of a Corvette.
know.
Hate those
Did the
cars.
single headlight ever have a V8?
Yes. No.
Yeah? No.
No, the
Okay.
single headlights never did. So the first one,
So,
technically,
anyway.
you're right. It was a little slow. But let's go back to the Symphony of Beauty. Gorgeous. #love.
Oh, God.
The next one makes me want to barf.
What about the scoops? The scoops on the side, on the second one.
Yeah, is
Go to
that
the-
what bugs you?
No, it's
It's
the
the
4
headlights?
headlights are just the worst.
They're just
Tommy,
headlights, Tommy.
this is an incredibly passionate stance for headlights.
That's where I stand. It looks like it's like.
Okay.
First of all, it has braces.
What if it has one headlight? What do you think of it then?
They did have one with one headlights. They were a little better. But
That's the same grill, Tommy. It's practically the same grill.
yes, but this right here is the jock that has braces. This is the quarterback. Go to the next picture. That's me. It has glasses
So
and
you
braces.
hate yourself?
I do.
Come on,
It's got
Tommy.
Glasses and braces.
One-
This is not the look.
Look, our producer Cole brought up a great point earlier that Tommy loves the bug-eyed Sprite and dislikes this later C1 Corvette, which just doesn't track.
Do you guys want to
No.
know the real reason I hate this car?
Yeah.
Because the first car was the purity of the design.
I get that.
Right? It was modeled after European sports cars, like the bug-eyed Sprites, right? Inspired by simplicity. And then when they facelifted it, you know what they did? Instead of making the design better, they lathered it in chrome. and they just
It was the
spread-
50s.
But that's what everyone
Chrome.
did back then. We
I don't
talked
think
about
it-
that
I don't
last
think
podcast.
it lacks simplicity.
Yeah, but the first one was so pure and so simple and focused on like being authentic to the brand.
There's not that much.
The real issue
The
is
like
that
thing
this.
is chrome.
No, like the side scoops and everything, I think are really, really cool. I think it adds a lot of depth to
The
it.
mirrors are chrome. The windshield's chrome. There's a line above
Okay,
the
Tommy, what's
headlights.
after
Those
your
knockoff
C1?
wheels.
Okay, after C1, C2.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Ugh,
Jen's
gorgeous.
right about
Those
that.
side pipes.
Beautiful car.
Beautiful.
Then I'm gonna go C5, then C4, and then C6.
Oh wow.
Oh, and I forgot the 8th one in there. Shoot. We're gonna put the 8th one in between 2 and 5. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
All right, Case.
Great opinions, great points, everyone. All wrong. Moving on. C4, number 1. It's the most affordable, most fun,
We got it. Yep.
and the best mix between retro.
What is your number 2?
You
sir?
beat that dead horse, Case.
The horse is deceased.
It's
I tried
fun.
to, but
It's buried.
everyone a little not the most
horse is buried.
open-minded. Not
What's-
the most open-minded.
Case, what's after
podcast.
C4?
What's the second one?
Really, the people that can't expand.
I'm gonna leave.
So C6, Z06 specifically.
Yep, there you go.
I love the noises that those motors make.
get past
It's
the
just
headlights.
Minus
tough.
the headlights. Just don't look at the headlights.
Well, when you're sitting in the car, it's fine. They look great from there.
Fair.
After that, probably C3, because it is a beautiful car. It's very pretty.
Very curvy.
Yeah. After C3, I'm going to go C2
Yes.
and then C5. And then C1, and then 7, and then 8.
Oh,
The new Corvettes are a little too angular for me. I don't love the way they look, and
That's
drive great, but
So, oh my God, Mary. So, based exclusively on the looks that you've seen today and the arguments that we have so eloquently spelled out, you have
Minus
to
Case.
do your list.
You're asking me and
Yes.
Mary?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Just by looks.
Okay.
And-
Jeez Louise. That's not fair because the looks isn't. That's
This
not
isn't a
the-
contest.
There's more to a car than what it looks like.
Right.
But, from your
for you-
perspective, all
yeah.
you know is
but-
the looks at this point.
the problem is if you start digging into these cars beyond the looks, you'll find out that the first 3 drive
Oh my God, Case.
not well.
C4
Okay,
is the worst.
And then you'll start
Crazy.
agreeing with me, and everyone will yell at
Cole,
you.
can you start
the
at
whole
the
podcast.
beginning, please? Thank you.
So just go based off the looks, and everyone will agree with you.
Okay.
So this and the second picture
Technically
are
the
Can I see
C1s,
the 3 again?
but they're just different.
Okay, that's 2.
not-
That's 3.
That's what we
picture
have
of
now. The yellow one I drove you around in.
That's
Okay.
4.
For me.
Yep. 5. 6. This is 2000s now. 2010s and 2020s.
Yeesh.
Right?
So many good options. She's overwhelmed by all the good
Yeah,
options.
I would need to see them all at the same time. I'll just give you my most favorite, my least favorite.
Okay, good. You can go off color too.
Yeah, I like the C1.
Which one?
The 4 headlight one?
No, that one.
Okay.
Okay. Whew.
Yeah. Wow. I think that one's my favorite one.
Good. Purist.
And then my least favorite.
You
Can
can
I
say
see the-
C4. You can say it.
I honestly don't
Let's
think that was my
not
least favorite.
influence people. Pull up the C5.
Cole, can you like that's 4,
That's the
that's
4.
80s, that's 90s, and then keep going, 2000s. And
I do not like the C5.
Okay. That's a pretty good take. Based on looks alone.
I pretty much, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
I only
C1
liked
is my
mine 'cause I
favorite.
owned
C5
one.
is my least favorite. On looks alone, if we're being superficial.
Yes. That's right.
That to me, growing up, that was the first midlife crisis man car. Yeah. So close.
We had a
wrap.
photo shoot with this car.
Tommy used to have one.
Remember the red one that we did at 90s night?
Oh, I do remember that.
That was that car.
That car was cooler than that car.
Well, it was red.
Yeah,
Red ones
red
are always
helps.
the
cool.
blue,
Red
yeah, the
helps.
Yeah,
blues,
the blue
blue's
is
a
not
little
good.
different.
Yeah, if that car was red, I would feel more inclined to like it.
Mine was black on black.
That's
Ooh,
cool.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
that was
sleek.
it was manual. It was
So last segment of the show, what's been grinding your gears, Mary?
Oh no, I want to go last.
Okay, you
oh
want to go
gosh,
last.
No, I didn't even.
What's been grinding your gears?
Man, it's been going on for a while, but C4
Oh my
Corvette slander.
Oh my god.
Slander against it.
The slander.
Case is
Slander.
grinding my gears
Yeah, case.
about his Corvette.
I do have a good one.
Imagine being abused like I am for just liking a car.
Well, it's a bad choice. You know what grinds my gears? Pens.
See what happens.
Pens.
Okay.
Ballpoint pens specifically.
I love ballpoint pens.
I've never experienced a ballpoint pen that writes nearly as well as its fountain equivalent. Ballpoint pens are short-lived, not inky enough.
Do you write
and
with them like this?
Underwhelmed. No. I would say...
Do you have a real feathered fountain pen?
Listen.
He has a quill.
Okay.
A quill.
This is how much I hate ballpoint pens. In some instances, I would rather write with a quill because ballpoint pens are that infuriating.
Well, like sidewalk chalk.
I would rather write because ballpoint pens are good until you actually need them. When you need to
when they're all
rely on a
dried out.
ballpoint, they dry out, and then you get thin, inconsistent lines.
Cole's got one that works right there.
I don't think it's just ballpoint pens. When a pen dies, that's just the worst.
Yeah, but the nice thing about a fountain pen is when it dies, it's dead. It doesn't do this BS like, well, maybe I'm around, maybe I'm not. It's just dead.
You mean aging?
Aging. Ballpoint pens age, and then they get cranky, and then you're licking them. Oh!
Yeah.
That's a
hate
good one. That's a
ballpoint
good
pens.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say that's a good one.
I've got one.
What do you got, Jen?
Low profile, all terrain or mud terrain tires.
So these are like off-road tires, Mary, but they're thin.
So I'm thinking like a 315 35 24. Oh, it drives me wild.
Did you have experience with one recently?
I have. Well, I've had to install a couple of them, and they were almost to the point where when I showed up and I found what I was going to be doing, I was like, I don't even want to. I don't even want to.
This is like putting
I'm
big
not
chunky
taking a
treads on
picture.
like stilettos. So like they look like they're going to be all terrainy, but then you take them
Dang.
off
But
road.
the thing is, like when you
They
go
don't
off
take 'em
roading,
off-road.
you want smaller wheels and all of the sidewall for tires. So then they put off-road tires on something that is pretty much just a wheel, and it's like a rubber band worth of
Ugh.
tire around it.
That's terrible
And it
news.
is the most stupid thing
is terrible
I've ever
news.
seen in my life.
I agree.
I think I almost hate that more than super cambered stance cars.
You know what I found really interesting? I actually saw a guy in a comment section on the interwebs defending the
He's
the
wrong.
massive forged wheels with non-existent
Yeah, rubber band
low profile
tires.
rubber band all-terrain tires.
Awful.
And I was so amazed that there's somebody out there that's like,
Well,
no,
it's okay. People
they're
can be
much
wrong,
better.
you know.
I don't like that
And I was
person.
like,
Yeah.
really?
Not at
Wow.
all.
In what
Not
way?
so interesting.
Definitely not the ride quality.
He was like,
or
oh,
your
they're much
capabilities
lighter, they're
off road.
forged wheels, so it's a lot stronger.
Okay, let's take you
And I
to
was
the
like-
ironclads, bro.
Yeah, right. Last time I
Terrible.
saw giant forged wheels on the trail, it was like durable.
Yeah.
So, Case, you have
Anyway.
one? You know, it's your gears? Case
Same
is
stuff
pretty-
as always. It's the
pretty
transmission
easygoing.
in my Land Rover. You know?
Still,
Automatics, man. They're
it's
killing me.
literally grinding his gears.
Killing me. Well, it's not, but it's just not doing anything with any of the gears except for
No,
one.
he would rather
It
them be
stays in
grinding
one-
the gears right
it
now.
Stays in one gear.
Which gear?
I think it's third.
That's all you need.
In limp mode on the transmission.
You
Yeah.
only need third gear.
What a pain.
You can go from 0 to like 80 miles an hour in one gear.
Yeah, it's fine.
I've got the torque for it. I might just take it out and drive it.
Torque.
Torque it.
One
Yeah.
gear.
Torque it.
Torque
Torque
is not
it.
a dance, by the way.
Oh, that's twerk.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Torque. What's been grinding your gears, Mary?
I would say overdoing sequels.
Okay.
That bothers me a lot.
Like Avengers.
I haven't watched a single Avengers movie or Marvel movie since Endgame. I was thinking more like Shrek. They did way too many of those.
Oh, what about Toy Story?
They did way too many
They
of those.
should have stopped at 3, huh?
They did way too many of those.
What's
yeah,
the right
they should
number
have
of
stopped
sequels?
at 3.
3.
So anything past 3.
Yeah, anything past 3, you're doing too much.
If you can do it well.
I don't know. Mission Impossible 4, pretty good.
What about 2, Tommy?
2, horrible.
Also, Fast and Furious up to 5.
Yeah, you got 4 and 5. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, 4's not.
I think
haven't
if the
watched anything
franchise
past Paul
is
Walker.
structured to have more stories unfold, that's fine. But if you're like really just mining a story out of like
Hangover.
how you
Oh,
exactly.
yes,
Like
that's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like then they reanimated Shrek and Shrek looks like terrifying.
Nightmare fuel.
Truly nightmare fuel.
Can you pull up the new Shrek?
New
Cole?
Shrek.
Did you go see it?
No, I don't go to the movies.
Okay.
I wish I had.
You're kind of losing your credibility a little here. Like, I don't watch sequels.
That's fair. I don't like it when they like. What is that?
Well, it's pretty close.
No, it's not.
He's just a different shade.
So, did they redo the movie or did they just reanimate the movie?
I don't know actually.
Yeah. So, I think that sequels can work if it's not the same story.
So you're talking about remakes. I'm talking about when they overdo sequels. Like why did
Shrek 5.
Yeah.
5.
Like
Five
Shrek
Shreks?
4, I think, was like they meet Rumpelstiltskin and they all get cursed.
Why is
like,
that bad?
Why did we have to? Why? Shrek was about an ogre who
Because
was
the
grumpy.
cow is still alive, Mary, and they want to milk it until it dies.
That was deep.
Yep, the cow is still alive.
I was really
And
confused.
those kids are going to be drinking that milk forever.
Jeez, okay, you
Shrek
lost me
milk.
there.
Cow milk?
Well,
Are you telling me that when you're milking something, you're
yeah.
drinking the milk?
No, you milk the cow for the milk until it's dead.
What do you do with the milk?
You sell it.
You sell the milk,
And they're
Mary.
selling the
This is
milk
get-
to the
this is
kids. They're
getting rough.
selling Shrek to children.
I'm just
Well,
saying, like James
I hate
Bond,
it.
they have like 25 movies.
That's not sequels. That's making a new story with different characters with a similar like structure.
but the character's the same.
yeah,
James
like
Bond
it's
is
a
the
sequel.
same and Emma's the same.
no, but like there are multiple Daniel Craigs that
Yeah.
play James Bond.
But it's a different espionage story every single time.
Yeah.
It's not building off the last one.
Okay, you're right. If they build off the last one, but like in the Rumpelstiltskin one, did they build off the last one, or they're like, we got to go kill Rumpelstiltskin?
No, you didn't listen at all. It's like this. It's they're building.
Okay,
And it's
yeah,
like,
that's
yeah.
crap. You can't do more than two. The worst. We'll end on this. The Hobbit trilogy.
that's a hot take.
That did not need to be a trilogy.
I couldn't even make it through the first one.
The last one was no. The first one's good.
First one was pretty
the
good.
The first one's good. The second one was
Nothing happened. You
Well-
didn't get to the end.
the dragon released and he flew over and he goes, "I am fire."
Well, okay.
Did you watch these?
You're telling me they couldn't have done that one in one or two? They had to do
I
a
agree. The
second
third
movie?
one was not good.
The third one was not good.
And it was also badly animated.
It was also. It's not as bad as Shrek, but it was yeah. All right, guys.
So-
Let us know what you think. If you've made it this far, what should the word be?
Rumpelstiltskin.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
No, that's too
Spell
hard
that.
to spell.
God,
Hobbit.
Shrek.
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 Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Ash-
Ogre.
Ogre.
That's
Ogre.
O-G-R-E.
OGRE. In case you're watching at this
Education
point.
involved in this
Rumpelstiltskin.
podcast.
R-U-M-P.
R-U-M-P. Still skin.
Stiltskin.
I forgot the L-E.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rumpelstiltskin.
That's right.
Rumpelstiltskin.
Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah, that's right. Well, folks, thank you for listening to another perfectly good hour of radio.
Unhinged
Maybe a
content.
little more than an hour. Hour
Oh
and a
my
half.
Hour
God.
90 minutes, guys. This should not have been a joke.
So sorry.
This was
We
was
were
a
the Hobbit
Hobbit
today.
podcast.
and Shrek.
Oh no. All right, guys, let's hear the next one.
Bye.